count book is just really, really fun. You are going to be mice, and what am I going to be? I'm going to be just such a wonderful, inspiring way for the kids to talk about the idea of more and less and joining and separating. I separated an area of space with a circle of tape on the rug to indicate the jar in the story. Here are 3 mice, little, warm, and tasty. I will put them into my jar. I made it not a very big space. I made it pretty small space for the children because I wanted them to be able to physically feel what it means when you're adding more to something. When the children are going into the jar and when they're coming out, I'm talking a lot about joining and separating because I want the children to understand the idea of operations. There were 0 working with preschoolers, doing this storytelling, changing, adding, and subtracting is their first experience with these higher order mathematical concepts, of addition and subtraction and operation.
I think I'm just going to say, why don't we each take off one of our shoes and put it in the center and see how we can sort our shoes. Okay. And then they'll have a big pile of shoes.
I'm wondering if you can think about a question before giving them the idea of sorting.
Okay.
Because I think that going back to the big idea that the main purpose of collecting data is to answer questions when the answers are not immediately obvious.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, in the way that I heard you say, let's take off our shoes and sort them to find out. It strikes me that you could think about a question prior to that.
Before they take off their shoes. Well, I'm trying to wonder how we can find out what kind of shoes we're wearing today. For this lesson, I really wanted the children to have a lot of control over the naming of the categories and talking about the shoes. What else is a running shoe?
Shoes?
So what type of shoes are all of these here?
Shoes? Just shoes. Those are superheroes.
Superhero shoes? Is that a way to group one?
Shoes.
Can we do it that way?
Those are just shoes.
Let's see if we like our groups. We have a group of boots. We have a group of running shoes. We have a group of walking shoes. And we have a group of superhero shoes.
I like the boots.
You do?
Okay,
are you happy with our groups?
Yes.
I want to ask some questions.
I help you think of an idea so we can make our graph and keep it. In my classroom, we made 2 different real shoe graphs, and I decided after those 2 experiences, the children were ready to make a pictograph and move from the more concrete to more abstract. What if I drew a picture of my shoe? Right? What if I drew a picture of my shoe, and then we could remember what shoe we were wearing today, and we could make a new graph? Do you think we could do that? I wanted the students to draw their shoes instead of just giving them a paper cutout, because I think it gives them more meaning to that abstract representation of their shoe. Do you see where it says zippers? Okay. Good, zippers. The reason I wanted the students to help construct the pictograph themselves is that if I'm putting the pictures up on the graph, I'm taking ownership of it. Then it's me sorting the information. If the students are doing it themselves, they're the ones taking ownership of their data, their information. It's their shoe. And if they're the ones putting it on the graph, then it helps them to remember, again, that this picture represents their shoe.
Early math is big, and it's big really early. Math is not just something that happens in a classroom with pencils and paper, but math is all around us. And it's big because we do it all the time, and yet children are saying, I'm not a mathematician. Yes, you are.
Math can be negotiation and talking and discussion.
Which one's bigger? Is it fair? I want more. How many are there? It's about the conversations that take place when children and adults talk about math.
Early math content is actually much more complex and abstract than most people believe it to be.
So for young children to learn
to understand, to perform well in mathematics, their teachers have to be mathematically proficient.
And when that foundational mathematics isn't solid, it's like trying to build a building on very shaky ground. We want children to start strong in mathematics with deep understanding, but also a love for mathematics that's going to help them persevere and learn for many years to come. Children love mathematics, and we need to nurture that from the start.